All Things Mavs.
What's up, Mavs fans? You're tuned into another episode of the All Things Mavs podcast. And once again, I'm coming at you after a Dallas Maverick win. We get to talk about back-to-back wins, whereas for the most part on this podcast, we've been talking about back-to-back losses. But tonight, or this afternoon, I guess, or whenever you're listening, the Dallas Mavericks pulled out a 122-114 victory over the Utah Jazz. Now, Utah wasn't playing with all their players. The Mavs definitely weren't playing with all their players, but it didn't matter, and the Mavs got a huge victory. Man, God, what a win. I mean, listen, I know that going into the game, we all kind of thought, it doesn't really matter. We don't have everyone playing. Luka's out. KP's out. Donovan Mitchell's not playing for the Jazz. I get that. You didn't get that excited. But then all of a sudden the game starts happening, and everyone's real into it. I mean, the whole team is into it. All the fans, Twitter is lighting up. Everyone was super into it. So the Mavs pull out a 122-114 victory. And as always, as I've been doing on this podcast, I've been saying, hey, first one to predict the score of the next game, I'm going to Venmo $30 if they get that score correct. Nobody got it once again, but the closest guy, I want to shout him out. Alex Hamilton, not Alexander Hamilton as in the Broadway play, not him, but Alex Hamilton predicted that the Mavs would win 122-117. So still nobody got it, so I'm going to do it again. I'm going to do it until somebody gets it right. So for the Portland Trailblazers game tomorrow night, if you predict the correct score down in the comment section, then I'm gonna Venmo you $30. It's been working. We're gonna keep on doing it until somebody finally gets it right. Just hasn't happened. But what I'm gonna do in today's pod, break down the highlights of this game, break down how the Mavs overcame a 22-point deficit to defeat the Utah Jazz. I'm also going to talk about really what this win means, because in the grand scheme of things, people didn't really expect anything about this game, but now it kind of means something, and exactly why it's so important to Dallas. But man, what a win. I'm excited to talk about it with you guys. I'm excited for you guys to listen. Make sure you're active in that comment section. If you're hyped about that win as I am, give this video a like and type hashtag GoMavs down in the comment section below. So go ahead. Ad break's going to hit you here. Scroll on down, type hashtag GoMavs. All right, so again, Mavs win it 122-114, but how did they do it is the more important thing, because the Mavs were down by 22 points. 22 points. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, let's see. The biggest deficit, so they in the first quarter, they're down 30-38. They just let the Jazz kind of go on a run. And they keep it close. It stays close up until the 2:48 mark in the second quarter. 2:48 mark, Boban Marjanovic makes two free throws. It's 55-52, a three-point game with 3 minutes left in the first half. And then all of a sudden, Jordan Clarkson makes a three-pointer. And then Jordan Clarkson makes a two-pointer. And then Rudy Gobert makes two free throws. And then Rudy Gobert makes another free throw. And then Mike Conley makes a three-pointer. And then Trey Burke hits some free throws, kind of puts an end to the drought. Jordan Clarkson then makes a three-pointer and one three-pointer. And the Jazz go up at halftime 70-54. And everybody's like, oh, man, there's no Luka, there's no Porzingis. The Jazz are playing all their starters besides Donovan Mitchell. Mavs probably aren't going to win this one. It's probably not going to be close. And we were kind of like, whatever. We'll take the 7th seed. It is what it is. It is what it is, as they say. But then all of a sudden, the second quarter starts happening. And it gets uglier, and it gets uglier. It gets uglier. The lead swells, as I said, to 22 points. And everybody's like, what is happening? And then all of a sudden, the Mavs go on a run in the third quarter. The third quarter Mavs turn into this juggernaut and just start going off. But they only get the lead down to 12 points. Tim Hardaway Jr. hits a step-back three at the buzzer to make it 100-88 as we go into the fourth quarter. And when the fourth quarter comes around, the Mavs open it up and go on an 11-0 run. Let's break down that 11-0 run. So it starts off right off the bat, 88-100 going into the fourth. Remember that score, okay? And then Maxi Kleber makes a layup, 90-100. Tim Hardaway Jr. then makes a layup. Then Maxi Kleber makes another layup. Then Maxi Kleber makes a three-pointer. And then Maxi Kleber makes another layup. So Maxi goes in and scores. What is that? Let me do my math in my head real fast. Maxi Kleber, whatever he did, he scores 9 of that 11 points. So he scores 9 of the 11-0 run. And then we come in, and so now it's 100-1, or excuse me, it's 99-100. And then Tim Hardaway Jr. makes a pull-up jumper off a Maxi Kleber assist, no less, and goes 100-101. So the Mavs take their first real lead of what feels like the entire game. And the Jazz and the Mavs kind of go back and forth, just a little bit back and forth. And then all of a sudden, things really start to turn around, and the Mavs kind of just pull away with it. Trey Burke hits a step-back three over their big man down low. I don't even remember his name. Tony Bradley. Pretty good, actually, backup center. Hits a step-back three in the corner over him with 5:37 left to put the Mavs up 106-104. And then The Jazz drive down on the other end. Emmanuel Mudiay barrels into Trey Burke, and that's a turnover. Mavs get the shot. Mavs get the ball back. Seth Curry hits a mid-range jumper. They go up by 4 points with 5 minutes left. And then Utah misses the shot after some good defense from DeLon Wright. Justin Jackson goes down. He misses a really ugly floater, and they kind of go back and forth a little bit more. And then the real turning point is really when it started, is when Maxi Kleber blocked a shot with about 3 minutes left in the game. 3 minutes left in the game. Rajon Tucker drives in. He thinks he's got a mismatch off Maxi Kleber. He says nope. He stuffs him, and then Trey Burke goes down. And then, Tim Hardaway Jr. goes down, hits a three-pointer. They're up 113-109. And then the next play, Trey Burke goes down, steals the ball with 2 minutes left. Tim Hardaway Jr. hits another three-pointer to go up 116-109. And then there's a foul. They make the layups, but then Seth Curry hits another three with 50 seconds left, and that pretty much seals the game. The Mavs take it after some exciting back and forth. I'm out of breath just explaining what just happened, but man, oh man, this team should not have been in this game. They shouldn't have been in this game, but there were a lot of moving pieces that really made this win possible, and it was all from the bench. All from the bench. The Mavs started JJ Barea, Seth Curry, Boban Marjanovic, Justin Jackson, and Tim Hardaway Jr., which means no Maxi Kleber and no Trey Burke in the starting five. And I was a little confused. I was a little perplexed, but I was like, they can come off the bench and they can give you a spark. And that is exactly what they did. So I'm going to give you the box score. I'm going to break down the box score and then tell you more about who this win benefits the most when it comes to individual players on the Mavs, and then what it means for the Mavs as a whole after this one final ad break before we get to the end of the podcast. All right, let's break it down top to bottom. Tim Hardaway Jr. leads the way with 27 points, 4 assists, 3 of 6 from three-point, 11 of 15 from the field. So most of his points didn't even come from beyond the three-point arc. Seth Curry, 22 points on 4 of 6 shooting from beyond three-point. Boban Marjanovic, who dominated the first half. I mean, he just made Rudy Gobert look small. He made Rudy Gobert look inferior. Had 20 points, 9 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 block shots, a steal in which he poked away from Mike Conley. And then JJ Barea, your next leading scorer, also got the start, 18 points, 8 assists. He's a +1 in the box score, 2 of 4 from 3. He just commanded the offense and just took control when the Mavs needed to take control. And that's what I have wanted to see from JJ Barea. I'll get more into that in just a minute. Trey Burke, your next leading scorer with 14 points, 4 assists, 2 steals. He went 2 of 2 from 3. That was huge. One of those threes was really the one that kind of kicked the Mavs into gear and got him this win. Maxi Kleber, 11 points, 3 boards, 3 assists, a blocked shot, 5 of 9 from the field, 1 of 3 from 3. DeLon Wright had 4 points. Josh Reeves had 4 points. Antonius Cleveland played 3 minutes. He had 0 points. Justin Jackson had 2 points in 24 minutes. And then Michael Kidd-Gilchrist had 0 points, but he had 6 rebounds. Played 18 minutes. MKG, who has barely played, was a +21 in the box score. In a game in which the Mavs were down by 22 points, Michael Kidd-Gilchrist led the way and was a +21 in the box score. So now let's talk about these individuals and what it means for the Mavs as individuals. First of all, let's start with MKG because that's who we're talking about. If he's going to come in, and he was playing incredible defense. Now, I know it was a bunch of backup guys. It was guys like Georges Niang, Emmanuel Mudiay, like I said, Tony Bradley, the center, Rajon Tucker. It was guys like that, a bunch of bench guys. I get that. But he came in and played incredible defense on all of them and rebounded the ball so well. In fact, and you're hearing me right now, and you're hearing me correctly, because as you all know on this podcast, I've been a firm believer in Justin Jackson. After tonight, after seeing 2 missed layups that he had, I'm moving over to Michael Kidd-Gilchrist Island. And I think MKG deserves all of Justin Jackson's minutes because he is twice as good of a defender and 3 times as good of a rebounder as Justin Jackson is. Now, neither of those guys are going to play as much as they did tonight. Absolutely not. But if one of them should be playing more, even if he can't give you a lick of offense, he can play defense, and that's what this team needs, and that's what he did tonight, and he was a huge spark plug for the Mavs on the defensive end and on the rebounds. I mean, he was your second leading rebounder with 6 all defensive rebounds. Great night from MKG, even though he didn't score a single basket. Really encouraged from what I saw from him. I'm hoping we see more of him here in the near future. Let's talk about Tim Hardaway Jr. and Seth Curry because those 2 guys are the guys you needed to see get their rhythm back. They had to get their rhythm back before the Mavs went into the playoffs. And tonight, without Luka Doncic and without Kristaps Porzingis on the floor, they both got a chance to do that, and they both lit it up. I mean, Tim Hardaway Jr. and Seth Curry sealed this game for the Dallas Mavericks. Tim, 27 points, 3 of 6 from 3. Seth, 4 of 6 from 3 on 22 points. That is the version of those guys that we need. Now, do I want them both taking 15 shots a game with Luka and KP out there? No, but you give me 8 to 9 to 10 shots a game from both of those guys and being efficient on all of those, if both of them are on, and Luka and KP are playing at their normal selves, nobody's beating this team. Nobody is beating this team. Not even the Los Angeles Clippers. Now let's talk about JJ Barea. Because JJ Barea has been really frustrating to watch. I get it. And I love JJ Barea. I'm a firm believer in him. I always have been. I always will be. But in the bubble, even though he hasn't got that many minutes, when he does come in, he's frustrating to watch. But tonight, he slowed the offense down. He played patient. He was the veteran leader that the Mavericks needed him to be. And that's what I want JJ's role to be. When the Mavs are having third quarter struggles, or when the Mavs are up and they need to sustain a lead and they need someone to slow them down and not get out of rhythm, that's what JJ Barea can be. Now, is he going to play 26 minutes a night? No. Is he going to give you 18 points a night? No. Is he going to give you 8 assists a night? Absolutely not. But can he do that in short spurts and slow this team down and really show them how to run an offense in the playoffs? Absolutely. Really, really happy for JJ Barea. Happy that we got to see him push the Mavs to where they were. Obviously, defensive liability, I get that. But at the end of the night, it was a W, a big-time W, in a large part, thanks in large part to JJ Barea. Boban Marjanovic, 20 points, 9 rebounds. I mean, there's really nothing else I can say about that dude. It's so important that he's doing that. I mean, he's your primary backup center. And when you're playing big men like Rudy Gobert, get him in the game. When you're playing big men, like let's say that we play the Clippers in the first round, Ivica Zubac, who killed you in that last game, put him in the freaking game. This is the kind of night he can have. Now, are there going to be nights where he gets torched? Yes, we've seen it. We've seen it happen. But if Boban can do half of what he did tonight on a normal basis against a guy like Ivica Zubac, that's a W in my book. Great night from him. Great night all around. The guy that I was most discouraged by was Justin Jackson. Sorry, Justin. You know you're my guy, but man, not a good night. Missed layups, bad defense, can't rebound, couldn't hit a jump shot, didn't even make your patented floater. That's tough. It's tough. So, Mavs fans, if you're as excited about this win as I am, type hashtag #GoMavs down in the comment section. Last thing I want to talk about is the standings. Because there's still a chance for Dallas to move up. They move within one game of the Utah Jazz. And there's word on the street that the Utah Jazz are tanking it out so that they don't have to play the Houston Rockets. I don't believe that. I don't buy that for a second. I think they'd still rather play the Rockets than anybody else. But the Jazz have one more game. It's against the San Antonio Spurs on Thursday night. Now, if they lose, that is the only way the Mavs are going to jump them. If they lose and the Mavs win out, the Mavs will jump the Utah Jazz in the standings and move up to 6th. Now, I don't think it's going to happen, but it's definitely possible. The Mavs are also within a game and a half of the Oklahoma City Thunder, who lost to the Phoenix Suns today. And that's really important because the Phoenix Suns actually have a couple more games left. They have the Miami Heat and the Los Angeles Clippers. Those are both tough games if they're all playing at full strength. I'm not 100% sure if they will. But if the Thunder also lose these remaining 2 games and the Mavs defeat the Portland Trail Blazers and they win their final game against the Phoenix Suns, I believe that's who the Mavs' final game is. Yeah, against the Phoenix Suns. Mavs can move up. So there's still a possibility, but really what I'm holding on to is that the Nuggets will jump the Los Angeles Clippers. As you're listening tonight, you probably already know better than I do whether or not the Nuggets are in a better place to jump the Clippers, as they will play the Los Angeles Lakers tonight at 8 o'clock Central Time. But listen, Mavs fans, it was a W. It was a huge W. It gave a huge confidence boost to this bench who really needs it. The Mavs are now 500 in the NBA bubble, which is a huge confidence boost going into the playoffs. And man, if we get that version of Luka and KP that we got against the Bucks, we get that version of Dorian Finney-Smith that we got against the Bucks, we get these versions of Seth Curry and Tim Hardaway Jr. that we saw today against the Utah Jazz, nobody is beating this Dallas Maverick team. So guys, thank you as always for listening. It was a pleasure being able to talk about a Dallas Mavericks win. Go ahead, scroll down in the comment section, type hashtag #GoMavs if you're excited about the win. And if you're at this point in the podcast, it lets me know you made it this far. And make sure you predict that score of the Mavs-Blazers game, because there's still free money to be won. And nobody's done it yet, so maybe it's your chance. Thanks for listening. And as always, go Mavs, baby.